Hi, my name is Christina. I am the young adult librarian at the Thayer Public Library. Welcome to today's Tween and Teen Grab and Go craft. Before we get started, a few house items that I want to talk to you guys about. First, in your kits is acrylic paint. So the paint cups that are inside is acrylic. What that means, it's going to stay on surfaces harder and it might stain your clothing. So make sure you're wearing something that if you get paint on it, that it's okay. Maybe an older t-shirt. The other thing, if you have longer hair like I do, you're going to want to tie that out of the way so it doesn't get in the way of you painting. So today we are going to do these Dungeons and Dragons stone tile mats. This is an unfinished one. You'll see me finishing it and working on it as the video goes on. What you would use these for if you are doing a role-playing type game like Dungeons and Dragons. You will have them set out and send your adventurers through on different quests. So maybe they are working their way through a castle. You might want to use stone. There is also an optional one that you can do where you can make wood tiles. I'll show you how to make that later on in this video. You also can make a smaller square than what I talk about in the video. I talk about making a 6x6 if you would like to use, because it's a pretty big piece of cardboard that you'll be getting with your kit. So you can also make a 4x4. Your first square is not going to be perfect. You're going to find that some things don't work and you have to change your method. Maybe some of the instructions I give you don't necessarily work for you, and that's okay. Do what works. This is your first one. It's not going to be perfect. The other note that I have for you, I have given you thin cardboard, but if you have crafting foam that you'd like to use instead, you are more than welcome to do so. In my experience, the glue sometimes sticks better between the foam bowl or plate than it does to the cardboard. So you might want to play with that if you have that at home. Otherwise, everything in your kit is what you're going to need. Let's get started. First, you're going to want to measure out a 6x6 square. So 6 inches tall, 6 inches over. If you're having trouble making a perfect square, there are some online tutorials you can search real quick before cutting out and completing this step. Setting aside your cardboard square for now, you're going to grab whatever foam piece you're using and you're going to cut a bunch of round stones. These are going to be your stones for the floor that you'll glue on in the next step. You can set your foam pieces onto the square to see how it might look. Take your time with it. This will help you with the realism if you make different sizes of the stones, but there's no wrong way to do this. This part does take a little while, and so does the next step. So at this point you might want to throw on an audiobook or some music. If you're in the mood for some Dungeons and Dragons, you might want to head over to Hoopla and try Children of Blood and Bone or Alazzo for an interesting adventure story. Once all your foam pieces are cut, so your stones are all cut, you're going to start gluing them onto the cardboard. My recommendation here is to start in one corner and work your way out until the square is full. There's an optional step here. Once the glue has dried and the foam pieces are set, so once they're not falling off, this is where you can take your tin foil that you have earlier and just start pressing into the stones and giving them texture. It kind of is hard to show up on camera, but it's just giving them those natural cracks that stones might have. Like I said in the last step, this one takes a little while. So once your glue has dried, it's time to paint your stones. On the spare cardboard that you have, so spare piece over here that you cut your square out of earlier, you're going to mix up a gray that you like. There's no wrong way to do this. I went for just a simple medium gray, and I'm starting to work on something for later, but you can see I took some white here, and then I took some black from over here. And then you're going to start painting the foam stone on your tile. Make sure to get all the nooks and crannies, and then once your entire square is full, you're going to let this dry. So you can see here I started painting and I had to stop because I didn't let all of the foam pieces dry onto the cardboard. So if you're painting and you're finding that it's coming right back off, then let your glue dry some more. And then you can also see if you tape your stones on, then you don't quite get the same result with your stones. It kind of just looks like a blob. If you like the look of the gray stones, then congrats, you are done. But if you want to kick it up a notch, you can grab some of the other paints included in your kit, and you can start painting individual stones. There's no wrong way to do this, and it's okay to look up pictures of stone floors in order to get better ideas. The more blending and more variety, the better. So, by now we have completed our stone mat piece, and that is set and drying. If you've painted individual stones, maybe those are drying. Once that's all dry, you'll notice on the back of your board is a blank square. If you'd like to continue to be crafty, you can flip it over to the blank side. You're going to repeat a lot of the process, but instead of cutting out stones this time, you're going to cut out pieces that look like wood, and then you're going to paint them to look like wood, whichever, like the stones, whichever you like. I chose to go for this old kind of creepy wood because maybe I'm sending my adventurers through an abandoned house where they're trying to locate and rescue someone they've been sent from the village. But that is an optional step. Again, repeat all the steps in the video in order to make this wooden square tile. Once that's done, you have completed the craft, and hopefully we'll see you next time.